family, what's good with you? It's your boy 2A in LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact. Don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, family, I should go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, fam, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, fam, let's get this episode rolling. So if you haven't had a chance to go back and see my initial impressions of the Phoenix Trinity Honcho, make sure you go back and check that out. This is the full review for this bad boy right here. Let me let you check out the Kovert collaboration with Phoenix Trinity, the Honcho version 2. This gun is very, very attractive. It reminds me a lot of the Atlas Erebus. It's not a full-blown like race gun where you've got 3 comps. Like the original Honcho, the version 1 Honcho is a full-blown race gun. It's got 3 comps up front. A lot of times with race guns, you'll see 2-3 comps up front, plus the barrel will be ported. This has a dual comp, very large comps up front. We'll get into that more as we get into the review. But I said in my initial impressions video that there were a few things that I was really going to keep my eye out on. I also said in that video that I feel like Phoenix Trinity, given their tenure in the industry, given the variety of their space, given their manufacturing background and their ability to produce most of their own parts, like I feel like they should be mentioned in the same breath as Atlas. And they are not, and that's primarily because historically they have had a reputation for not doing the best quality control and not providing the best level of customer service. So I really wanted to see how reliable this gun was. I really wanted to see, really do a kind of deep dive on the fit and finish of the gun. I really wanted to see how flat the gun shot, how much the dual comps will kind of mitigate the recoil, and I wanted to see how fast the gun was, because if you're planning on using this for competition, it's going to be an open gun, then you want a gun that is highly accurate, a gun that is super fast, super flat. And let's see if the Honcho fits the bill. All right, fam, if you haven't seen a 2A NLA review, it's relatively straightforward. 0 is the lowest possible score. 100 is the highest possible score. I've never had a gun score to 0, never had a gun score 100, but one can always hold out hope, right? Usually an average gun is somewhere between 50 and 60, straight down the middle. Think Glock 17, Gen 5 MOS. Gonna go bang every time. Very reliable, but really no feels or thrills. If you got something from like 60 to 70, that gun probably has a feature or two that distinguish it from the middle of the road guns. If you got something that is kind of 70 to 80, that gun is a very solid firearm. A couple deviations above the norm. Definitely has some feature sets that make it stand out. If you got something 80 to 90, okay, now you're cooking with gas. Now you're talking about kind of best in class types of gun, especially if they're kind of 85 to 89. If you got something 90 or above, Grail gun status. All right, fam, let's dive into the Phoenix Trinity Honcho X Kovert V2. Starting off, let's talk about fit and finish. I will go ahead and I'll put the specs up there so you can check it out. But all metal gun, DLC coated, very good feel, and grip. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into ergonomics. The grip safety is has been deleted. It's got the dual comp DLC coated racks, buttery smooth. I gotta say, fam, I haven't really seen a Phoenix Trinity gun that wasn't really well sprung, really well machined. They do a really good job on there. They do a really good job making compensators too. Their comps always seem to perform at a very high level. Now, I think my only real criticism relative to fit and finish is that there's a little bit of play in the gun. Not a lot, just a little play, like slide to frame, has a little wiggle to it. Nothing to be concerned about or anything like that, but it's not as, the tolerances are not like Atlas level or Venom level or Hayes level or Rafferty level or something like that. Well done, without a doubt, but just a little play, just a little play. Same thing kind of for the safety delete. You can hear that a little bit of play there. It doesn't affect anything, none shootability or whatever. Just little small things you notice when you handle a bunch of very kind of high-end firearms. So look, gun is well done. No ifs, ands, buts about it. For fit and finish though, we're going to give it a 13 out of a possible 15. All right, fam. Next up, durability. Like I said, all metal gun. Specs are up there. DLC coated. I think this is one of them guns. You take care of it, it's going to take care of you. Bull barrel. I think it's gonna be a very durable gun. When I look at my H-Tac, I have thousands of rounds through that gun. Haven't had any issues. Well over 1,000 rounds on this one, and it has some rounds in it before I got it. There's no signs of wear anywhere on the gun. The gun looks like it's brand new out of the box. Durability, we're going to give this gun a 14 out of a possible 15. All right, fam, next up, reliability. So this was a category that I definitely had my eyes on going into this review. Like I said, unfortunately, Phoenix Trinity has had an a reputation for kind of just so QC, and so I wanted to really make sure that this gun was reliable. I ran a ton of rounds through it, and when I first got it, when we get under accuracy, I talk about shootability of the gun. But when I first started running it, probably maybe for like the first, let's call it 500 rounds or so, it ran flawlessly. And I was like, man, okay, Phoenix Trinity, I see you. I'm not mad at you. Go ahead and get this gun right? And then after about 500 rounds, all of a sudden I started to have a couple ejection issues, a couple of stovepipes. And I gotta say, fam, I was kind of heartbroken. And I struggled with maybe like 2 or 3 mags in a row. At first, maybe I thought it was a mag. Then I thought maybe it was ammo. But it wasn't that, because it was eating that ammo and eating those mags earlier. And I was like, sitting there looking just very kind of disappointed. And then I said, you know what? I didn't oil this gun at all. I just took it and started shooting. I said, let me put a little bit of oil on the gun. So I go over. I didn't break it down. I just went over, locked the slide back, applied a little bit of oil. Said, okay. Racked the slide a little bit, worked it in. Put in a mag, and fam, the gun went crazy. I had 0 other issues after I added just a little bit of oil to it. This gun ran like nobody's business. I think in the beginning of the video, you can see how fast this gun was shooting. I mean, this puppy was going. It was going. So I would just say, if you get one and you run into a little bit of reliability problems, I would just say put a little bit of oil on the gun. For me, that 100% cleared up the problem. For reliability, we're going to give it a 13 out of a possible 15. All right, fam. Next up, trigger. So I would say my Phoenix Trinity H-Tac has a pretty phenomenal trigger. I really like it. Is it as quite as good as Atlas? I would probably say no. Is it as good as Infinity? Definitely not. Is it comparable to like the Combat Precision trigger? I would say yeah, right up in that mix. And I would say this is the same. So again, you've got a ever so slight take up, clear defined wall, crisp clean break, the reset. That's a very short reset. I'll go and I'll put up the trigger weight up there, but I think it's a good trigger. Like I said, I love the H-Tac trigger, love this trigger. I was able to run this gun really fast. Resets are a dream. Yeah, I love the trigger. We're going to give it a 14 out of a possible 15 for trigger. All right, fam. Next up, accuracy. So when I talk about accuracy, it's a combination, not just like how tight the groups are, but also kind of the shootability of the gun. Like, how flat is it? What's the recoil impulse like? Does it allow you, do those things combined with the trigger allow you to put the gun, to shoot the gun accurately and precisely? Fam, this is gonna sound absurd because you guys know I've got Infinities, I've got the Erebus, multiple Atlas guns, I've got Rafferty, Lucky Devil, Venom, etc. I'm not exaggerating. This is not hyperbole. I was shocked when I went to the range. But I would say, fam, this is arguably the softest shooting gun I've ever shot. This dual comp system, there is zero recoil. Now, a gun like kind of my Atlas Erebus is also zero recoil on a shot or a few shots, right? My Lucky Devil, same thing. My Venom, same thing. My Haze. But at very high rates of speed, and my grip fundamentals are getting better and better and better. So I was going to try to attribute a little bit of that to a better grip, but no, fam. It's crazy. It's crazy how soft and how flat this gun shoots. Now, I went out to about 15 yards and did grouping. I'll let you guys check it out. It's probably like an 1.5 inch, 2 inch group. You can look at it up there, but it's not just the grouping. It is the way these comps work. The weight of the gun coupled with the comps, coupled with how well balanced the gun is, coupled with the trigger, it translates to a highly enjoyable shooting experience. I gotta say, I don't know I don't know if I've enjoyed shooting a gun more than I enjoy shooting this Honcho, with the exception of when I was having issue with the gun cycling and I added the oil. This gun is so flat, so fast, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Now, I did have an opportunity to shoot an Atlas Chaos, but it's been a long time, and I wasn't nearly the shooter then that I am now. So it's hard for me to have that kind of memory recall. But man, I'll tell you what, this Honcho is impressive as a shooter. For accuracy, we're going to give it 10 out of a possible 10. All right, fam. Next up, ergonomics. I love it. This grip, I gotta look. Look, Phoenix Trinity does a great job in making their grips. This gun is weighted really, really well. The balance is perfect. It feels incredible in the hands, fam. I gotta say, I love it. It has the perfect grip texture for me. Maybe there are other grips that I like more aesthetically, but it is like the perfect amount of aggressive without being too aggressive. And like I said, with the balance and how flat it shoots and everything, you just put it all together, it just all works. So for ergonomics, we're going to give this bad boy a 10 out of a possible 10. All right, fam, these next two categories, we're going to lump them together. Aftermarket support, maintenance, and upkeep. Generally speaking, when I'm dealing with 2011 firearms, even, I keep saying, at some point I'm going to have to give aftermarket support. I'm going to have to give aftermarket support a 5 out of 5. It's not Glock territory. Yeah, it's not AR-15 territory yet. Maintenance and upkeep, you got to keep it, obviously got to keep it oiled, right? Got to keep it clean. We're going to give this gun 4 out of 5 for aftermarket support and for maintenance and upkeep. All right, fam. Next up, affordability. I'll go ahead and I'll put up the MSRP up there. It's an expensive gun. Here's what I would say. For the shooting experience at this price point, this gun is going to be hard to beat. I know that's going to sound crazy for a gun that I think is like $6,500 MSRP, but it shoots so flat. And I'm going to take this gun head to head against my Atlas Erebus. I don't know which one shoots softer or flatter, but when I tell you this is an Erebus country in terms of shooting experience, I don't think the fit and finish is Atlas quality or Venom quality or Hayes quality or Rafferty quality. It's not that. That's why for fit and finish it on to 13 out of 15 instead of 15 out of 15. But in terms of shootability, in terms of the way the gun feels, the shooting experience, it is up there with all of those firearms. And all of those firearms cost between $8,000 to $10,000. So for $6,500 for a gun that is very much has race gun DNA, I think that this is an excellent bargain. Not to mention that you can run multiple barrels through this system. So it's still a grip. I say all that to say it's still a grip. I can, even though I think there's value here, value is relative. This isn't the value category, it's the affordability category, and for affordability, I can only give it a 1 out of possible 5. All right, fam, last but not least, flex. Is Instagram gonna go crazy? Are your boys gonna be looking at you like, damn, yes. Like I said, fam, anybody that shoots your gun is gonna be like, wow. This is when it comes to shootability, this is a wow gun. There's no doubt about that. I think aesthetically, it's a good looking gun. Some people don't like kind of the overhang look that you see on a lot of race guns, but that's just what it is. I don't mind it. I find it alien-like and menacing, and so I'm fine with it. Flex, we're going to go ahead and give this gun a 4 out of a possible 5. All right, fam, when you add all of that up, you get a whopping 87 out of a possible 100. Fam, I told you guys that when you're kind of 85 to 89, you're talking about kind of best in class guns. The gun did not hit grail gun status at 90 or above, but I would say, fam, that, and generally that's because I felt like fit and finish could be, tolerances could be a little bit better on the gun. I did have that one experience relative to reliability, although I'm not holding that against the gun a lot. And I'm probably being a little bit more critical on reliability just because of Phoenix Trinity's reputation. But they own 13 out of 15 in those two categories, so already you're down from 100 to a 94. But look, fam, I gotta say, it's arguably one of the funnest guns I've ever shot. Like I said, there's zero recoil. I mean zero. Zero. Now, the Lucky Devil, for example, in my collection, made by Rafferty, also has zero real recoil, but a lot heavier gun, all steel gun, right? Ported and comped. This gun is lighter weight. That dual comp just keeps it so flat. Yeah, it's one of my favorite guns, man. I might have to tell Kovert, look, fam, I might need to hold this till mine comes in. That's how much I enjoyed shooting the Honcho. So look, fam, if you're thinking about an Erebus, right, and you're thinking about 8,000 versus 6,500, you're thinking about I can probably get this gun in 30 to 90 days versus 18 months for an Erebus, this might be a good way to go. Now, I'm going to do a video where I run this gun head to head with the Atlas Erebus. Let's see how it fares. It's one thing for me to kind of judge it kind of based on memory recall from all the rounds I put through my Erebus. But when you shoot them back to back, side by side, same range day, that's when a lot of stuff gets covered. So based on my recollection, it shoots as flat, if not flatter, than the Erebus. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, not machined as well. Fit and finish not quite as good as an Atlas gun. But shootability wise, yeah, every bit is good. So that is the Phoenix Trinity Honcho collaboration with Kovert. All right, fam, that's it for this episode. Until next time, as always, take care of one another and peace.